What's going on, everyone? I'm Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, and today I'm here to give you my review on The Walking Dead for the PlayStation Vita. The Walking Dead is a 5-part game series where you play as a character known as Lee, who is a convicted criminal who has been given a second chance at life in the world devastated by the undead, with corpses returning to life and survivors stopping at nothing to maintain their own safety. As you protect an orphaned girl named Clementine, they offer you redemption in the world that's gone to hell. As for the graphics, how's the graphics on the PlayStation Vita version? And I gotta say, they are great. Of course, what you're seeing currently in the video is not going to capture what you see in person. In person, it does look 100 times better. Of course, this game is based off the Robert Kirkman's award-winning comic book series, so the game does have that really nice comic book feel to it. So overall, it does look great on the PlayStation Vita, and I gotta say, it's really impressive. As for the gameplay is quite simple. What's cool is that on the PlayStation Vita version, you're given two options to play the game. Option 1 allows you to use the touchscreen interface only, which you'll be using 99% of the time, or option 2 will allow you to use the buttons and analog sticks if you don't like using the touchscreen interface. However, just note in terms of whatever one you pick in the beginning, you won't be able to change it later on unless if you select a whole new game, which is a little bit of a bummer. I wish they kind of had that in the options menu, so if you want to switch between back and forth of those two different options, then you are given a chance to do that. But instead, you have to start a whole new game. Just note that if you're going to be using the touchscreen option, if your fingers do end up, if you're the type of person who gets sweaty fingertips, it's going to be a lot more difficult to play the game. Just note that ahead of time. But anyways, in the game, you're going to be making a lot of choices. Depending on the choices you make, interacting with the characters, and of course, depending on who you save, will affect the outcome of the story. For example, you may be the type of person who's trying to make the best choice possible in terms of trying to win everyone's side. And of course, depending on who you want to save, that's going to be a benefit to your surviving team. It's going to be a lot more difficult. So in terms of every time you play the game, no matter what kind of choices you make, the story is always going to change, which is really nice because this game is very story focused, and I really like that. Of course, as you progress further into the game, you do meet more survivors, you do have more important situations, even situations that that's going to make it a lot harder for you to choose in between. But pretty much in the game, you're just going to interact with everything that you can in the game, so that's pretty much what you're going to try to do. Each story or chapter will take you about an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete. That's if you're choosing to interact with every single object, because like I said, it's story focused, so the choices you make will affect the outcome of the game. As for the sound in this game is really good as well, from the music, from the details in the environments, the sound effects, and of course the main highlight is the voice acting in the game. I like the fact that the voice actors did such a good job bringing to life each of the characters involved in the game, thus making you build a bond between the relationship with some of the characters you meet in the game. But overall, the sound is great and the voice acting was just outstanding. As for the lifespan, what kind of lifespan do we see in a game like this? To me, this game has a really good lifespan. On the PlayStation Vita version, you're granted access to episodes 1 through 5 plus the bonus 400 days, and of course, as I stated earlier in this review, the choices you make in this game will affect the outcome of the story. So for example, maybe your first playthrough you chose to save these specific amount of characters, and then maybe during your second playthrough you choose to save the opposite and see how the story affects that. And of course, maybe during your first playthrough you wanted to make the best possible choice to make sure everyone's happy, and then during your second playthrough maybe you want to be the complete jerk and see how everyone reacts to your decisions during that time. So to me, this game offers a lot of replay value. If you're the type of person who's going to enjoy a deep storytelling game, this is one that's definitely going to invest a lot of your time and does look really good on the PlayStation Vita. As for the innovative, was there anything new here, or was the stuff that we already seen before? I've seen a lot of games that try to involve the whole storytelling process, but this game, The Walking Dead by Telltale, did such an amazing job in terms of the storytelling that I was really impressed. Now, the only issue I had with the PlayStation Vita version was that if you choose to use the touchscreen option, you can't switch it back in terms of the main menu, and the fact that you have to start a whole new game. That's just a minor gripe. And the other thing I noticed on the PlayStation Vita version, because that's the common question I've been getting, is there any lag? Now, lag I didn't really notice, but what I did notice is that there's a lot of jump cuts. So basically, for example, there was a moment in the game where I was getting ready to chop off a zombie's head and he's getting ready to swing it back, and then there's next thing you know, it's like a jump cut to where, like, after the whole process has been ended, to where now the zombie's head is off. It's like, okay, I didn't see the whole interaction there with that. But that's one thing I did notice, just a lot of jump cuts in between. I wasn't sure if it was like that for the console version due to I haven't played the console version, but that's just one thing to note. So if you're kind of person who gets annoyed by jump cuts, this game is going to have a lot of that. But other than that, this game is great. For $25, you're getting a lot of content, a really deep storytelling, and overall a really good experience. In the end, I'm going to give The Walking Dead for the PlayStation Vita a 9.5 out of 10. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section down below. And remember, Gamerfuzion empowers your gaming.